Week 15 in progress of the NFL season as we come down the home stretch of the WDHA Pro Football Pick'em Challenge. Swendeman and I have a special guest, Brady Kannon. He's a host and betting analyst with VSiN. Brady, good morning and welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me, guys. A pleasure being here with you.
So we want to talk Giants and Jets, and the Giants, boy, they start off the season 6-1, and then 3 losses and a tie in their last 4. They have to be looking, Brady, at this game against the Commanders this weekend as an absolute must win.
Yeah, and Jim, I'll tell you, when teams say it's a game that they must win, I always say they must not be that good. you know, they wouldn't be in that position. And it's kind of true, and we'll see a lot of that more so in week 17 and week 18. You talk about these teams in these must-win situations, and they wouldn't be in that situation if they were pretty good. It really has gone sideways for the Giants. 1-4-1 in their last 6 games, and I really liked the spot for the Giants in their first matchup with the Commanders. I felt that was the first game that they probably felt they had a good chance to really win. Prior to that, they had some pretty darn tough matchups. I know against Dallas. I think they played the Lions over that stretch, if I recall. But I felt that game against Washington was like the first chance. Okay, we're at home. We're an underdog. We got to get this one. And really, they should have won the ball game. They covered the spread, but obviously settled for a tie at 20 apiece. With this second time around, just 2 weeks later, and Washington now off of a bye week, I have a tough time figuring out what the situation is. You're right. The Giants' backs are certainly against the wall, but I haven't seen a lot that would, give me confidence to run to the window with them and take the points. That being said, I don't know if the Washington Commanders are worthy of a team that's laying 4.5 or 5 points either. So I'm kind of stuck on this one this week.
Brady, I've been on the Jets bandwagon for a few weeks now, and I really think Robert Saleh's got them running in the right direction. I think putting Mike White under center has really given them the offensive boost that they needed to kind of match their defense. What do you think the Jets' odds are, not only this week against Detroit, but now they're behind New England. So what do you think their chances are to really make it into the playoffs at this point?
I think they have a good shot, Chris. It's a pretty short price on the no, just plus 115, minus 140 minus 140 is the favorite on the no. That they won't make the playoffs. The yes is a short underdog at plus 115, which kind of tells you that the odds makers still think they have a decent shot. And I too. I'm with you on Robert Saleh. I grew up a 49er fan, so I pay a lot of attention to that franchise. And, I think his first year was questionable. We didn't know what he was going to do, but boy, he's really convinced me that he's a very smart guy and really knows how to establish a culture in that locker room. Plus, he's got a heck of a lot of talent on that team. They did a great job in the draft this year. Quinnen Williams is a question mark, if he's going to be healthy enough to play in this game against Detroit. I think this is going to be a whale of a ball game. It's an outstanding offense against an outstanding defense, and a pretty mediocre offense against a defense that was awful but has improved in Detroit. I do like the Jets here, Chris, and I actually bet the Jets at a pick'em, and it's now to -1. I think Detroit is such a better team when they play at home at Ford Field, and Jared Goff such a more successful quarterback when we play at home or when they play at home. We've also seen Jared Goff really struggle in cold weather. If you recall, in years past, I think it was a nationally televised game when he went to Chicago, and he just looked like he had icicles hanging from his nose, and he was not comfortable. He tends to struggle, I think, in that type of environment, and I think the Jets offense has enough with Mike White and what he's done to invigorate this offense to certainly threaten what I think is still a pretty poor defense on the Detroit side. And with the Lions being on the road going up against this defense, let's remember the last game the Lions won on the road was against the Chicago Bears. That's an awful defense, and Chicago probably should have won that game if it wasn't for a late pick six. Now they're playing one of the best defenses in the league. So I think the Jets have certainly enough on defense and enough on offense to win in what will probably be a very tight game.
DHA listeners can play along with us on the WDHAFM.com website and the DHA Pro Football Pick'em Challenge. Follow Brady Kannon on Twitter at Las Vegas Golfer, host and betting analyst from VSiN. Brady, thanks for joining us this morning. We appreciate your time.
Anytime, guys. I hope I'm right. Go Giants and Jets.